I shall.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos witching.
Okay, this video may or may not come out on Sunday. It's been very busy, and my recording. I got a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning asking me if I could do a 7:30, which was kind of when I was kind of hoping to film this. Oh well, never mind. This comes out hopefully Saturday. And that's me thinking I got out of the short story Sunday curse. Let's see how tomorrow morning goes. If I can edit it in time. Oh well. So, as you can tell from the hat, we're back with the witches. Orphanage of Last Breath. Saad Z Hossain. I just wanted to make sure that I was saying that right. I was set up to really hate this one because we are following a dickhead, basically. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's a futuristic copper on a witch hunt. Yeah, this is the... So yeah, immediately, we're not going to like this guy because we're all for the witches. And I genuinely thought, this time maybe we're going to get a scary witch. Kind of, but at the same time, I would really not like to be in the perspective like we did. I really wish the perspective was different. And yes, I am just like playing with the tassel on my hat. I'm fine. I really don't want to talk about this guy. Oh, he's a bit of a career-driven... Well, he's not really a career-driven ass. He refuses to get a promotion because he loves his witch hunting so much. He likes being on the ground shooting people. Yeah. So this is a futuristic setting. I'm confused as to the whereabouts because it says they're in America, but their emergency number is 999. Question mark. But let's move on. But so we are in this futuristic hellscape where he's witch hunting the big boss guy, the commissar. What does it actually say? What year this is? But it's basically opens up with him asking this one bloke in the street, witch doctor, cobriage, sorcerer, djinn caller, djinn fornicator. He was just going through a checklist and just seeing if the guy actually says he is one of these things, which is a bit dumb. I'm not entirely sure about the context of this entire system, but if he's on a witch hunt, wouldn't they not give away what they are to the witch hunters? Maybe. So I don't understand that part, but so there's this copper team of 3, Mock, Blue, and another whose name I would rather... Yeah, I really would want to forget these guys' names because they don't deserve it. But they basically are in the futuristic hellscape, and I say futuristic because they have one of the details in this story is that one of their guns is marked as non-lethal because the laser cauterizes the wound as they shoot through the... yeah, so it's considered non-lethal. And on top of that, he's got these drones, 2 drones that whirl around him in a figure of 8, and he's got a chip in his brain that controls them. I'm not super happy about being in this perspective at all. It's uncomfortable, and the guy's and he's basically going around hunting witches for the commissar, the big boss guy, because apparently the big boss guy really wants a girl witch, just for sure. Like, yeah, anything's great so long as we can make a stereotypical spectacle of the whole shebang. Yeah, I'm assuming for the propaganda. I'm assuming for the propaganda. And on top of that, they've also come from another mission, and Blue is fresh out of the academy as well. They've basically decided they're going to go deeper into a slum area that isn't very well off, and they're basically, one person comes up to Mock and is like, "Oh, but we've already paid the this month's fee," and he basically backhands him and going, "You've not paid me. I'm not a dirty cop. You, I'm not that kind of cop. I." Yeah, he's basically got these people paying him to not stir up trouble. He's getting paid extra off the backs of these people. Yeah. Why am I not even surprised by this? Really, I'm not surprised by this. Anywho, the guy is just like, oh, you want a witch? We do have one of them. You got to go to this place, take 3 right turns and 3 left turns. In that order, exactly. And so, yeah, they basically go there, and under the information from this guy that this woman takes in orphans and steals their faces. So these children are in danger, and so they must go rescue the children. Will somebody please think of the children? Why does that meme always come back into my head every time children get mentioned? Anywho, and so the house is trippy. When they finally get to the house, there's this amazing description of how things start twisting in his perspective to the point where he has to take his helmet off eventually. And the door has opened, and this little girl with no face and cracks, her face is cracked, and in that crack is silver running across. And so her face has been stolen and silver has been poured into her. She runs away from these men, and Mock runs after her, but he quickly looks back and checks that on his 2 men, they've just split off in opposite directions, and he's just like, I can't run after this girl right now. I've got to catch up with these 2 because they might be running into something. He does actually try and catch up with Blue, but at some point, what he sees is a tentacle monster. No, basically this monster that is kind of like I think, why does my brain go to tentacles? Why do I get the feeling that if I reread this bit, it's not going to be tentacles? I'm basically thinking of a Cthulhu head. That's all I'm thinking of, is a Cthulhu head. Yep. He kicked down the doors at random and finally saw the faceless girl struggling urgently as a giant man held her down, a creature with the head of a squid that was holding a knife to the girl's face, trying to carve back in the eyes she had lost, the nose, the mouth, as if she were a Halloween pumpkin. And so Mock immediately calls upon the drones and shoots at this creature because he's there to save those orphans. Also, just that image alone is quite haunting, and we get so many really good descriptions. I'm not, when I say all my distaste for so far, it is because I don't like the character. You can enjoy the story and hate the character. That's all I'm saying. This is a good story. I probably should. I wonder what editing me is thinking already. But so far, the story is beautifully described. It does. I actually read this in one sitting because I accidentally realized that they changed my rota without letting me know I'm an hour early. So I sat through this in one sitting, and it was really, really good. I was gripped through it as well because these descriptions are quite nice as well, on top of just an interesting premise, besides having to deal with it and you don't want to be in there for very long. He shoots down this creature that is attacking the child, and he is just like confronted with all this imagery on his visor that he's got to take his helmet off at this point, and then realizes he's just shot Blue. And so we, the reader, is just like, so this house is playing tricks to shoot at, to get them to shoot at each other and to kill them, just so they don't. But then we're inside of his head is the other interesting part. He doesn't blame the house. He's not thinking this is a trick. Blue, did I just shoot his head off? He had a knife to that girl. I saw. I effing heard her shrieking her mouthless head off. Is she even real? Is this murder? Am I supposed to hide the body? He effing drew on me. F him. I need to get Hazmat and kill this effing witch. Effing Blue. I knew he wasn't right. At least I saved one kid. All of these just. He starts ruminating in his mind, just like, not at all that this could be a trick on him, but because of what Blue was doing, and he actually listened to his senses and going, no, that child was in danger. So we're kind of just wondering, do we actually have some kind of ethics in this guy? He is a bit of a but at the same time, he's not going to stand by and let Blue, one of his own men, do anything to harm a child, which is quite conflicting when you're reading it, and then it gets to the fact where they do to the place where they're confronting the witch, and Hazmat, the other guy, is also there. And the whole thing is this woman who turns and looks over her shoulder, and he realizes that a part of her is hollowed out, some burn damage, and he's thinking, at least she can be hurt. This witch can actually be seen to bleed at least, and so, but that's where things go a bit awry. Is she basically explains to him that she's not stealing the children's faces. The children's faces have been stolen, and she's took them in because of that, and given them an extra bit of life after, and their whole, all of these children, that girl that he was following, she watched her brother die from, well, his partner, and men like his partner, like Blue, who came out of a casino drinking and thinking they're on top of the world. They see a child and they turn into a bully, to put it lightly. And she took in this girl upon her last breath and gave her a second home. And she's the only one who's currently visible. She's afraid, but not as shy as the others. they are still around. They're just refusing to be seen because they are shy, they are scared. And when Hazmat does come into that room, he's ready, trained his weapons on this witch, and is waiting for his order. But Mock is just like now confronting him, going, "What do you? This witch has told me what you've done. Care to elaborate?" And he's not denying it. He's just saying, like, that partner bond, like, I pulled you from this place. We are partners. Come on, man. And it's kind of like that unspoken bond between police buddies. That's what he's calling upon. That's what he's calling upon. But that is literally what he's trying to do, is call upon that, and fails. They fire upon each other. Because Mock is a quicker draw, he gets to kill his partner first, and then realizes he himself has been shot. But because of his implants, his pain receptors has been removed. Pain has been turned off because future technology can do that, interestingly enough. But she offers Mock a chance that more men, like his partner, will come and investigate the team and their disappearance, and even a chance of revenge, because even his big boss is exactly like them. Is exactly the kind of man who would do that to these children. And Mock actually takes her up on that. He's not got anything. He doesn't do it because he's scared of death and he doesn't want to live. He's accepted like that, but what he's got is his rage, and he's basically being given a chance to have some revenge and just avenge these children upon men who would take advantage and hurt them. He sees the silver pour into his face, and he's part of this. That's what it was. He doesn't accept the family. He's just there to take revenge. He's a violent man, so he's not going to be the the huggy type. But he's basically the protector of this house now, waiting for the investigating squad, which is satisfying, but at the same time, he's. Why did we have to open up this story with a corrupt copper being on a witch hunt? Because I was set up to hate this story. But the descriptions of the place, the world building, is basically a very dystopian world, and yeah, it does pick up quite nicely with the descriptions of the magic and the mirror images of things. Just oh, I absolutely adore these descriptions. Well, I think what I love best about this collection is just the descriptions of how the magic is affecting everything and people, and just it's absolutely stunning. That's my favorite part about this collection, is just the descriptions of magic, because even in a dystopian world, that is very much like a bit too similar. As we do need some lovely, gorgeous descriptions of magic, because it's the most uplifting thing right now, and it is the saving grace of this story. Is that what kept me reading through, and thankfully to a decent ending. So yeah, we follow a protagonist that is just dislikable from the start because corrupt cop, obviously, but also just the fact that we are being this is the first story of this collection where we're actually following the witch hunter instead of the witches themselves, or a perspective that is being affected by the witch in their life. And yet it still became a really good story. It was somebody who might be corrupt, but they still have some kind of a line in the sand. I think what lets it down is because it is a short story, we don't get much of a character depth, and so we don't understand this guy's full motivations. Because we do get a snippet with he doesn't want to the promotion because of the desk job. That would be mean. That would come with that promotion. He wants to stay on the ground. That's where he likes to be. So there is that some semblance of he wants to be where he can help people, but at the same time he's taking the bribes from the locals. Yikes. Um so yeah. Is that technically the definition of morally grey? I don't know, and I do not want to answer that. But that was this week's short story. An interesting one, but a good one. Still a good one. Um, and we do not have to like the protagonist to enjoy that story, which is at least a good thing, because otherwise I'd be hating it through and through. Because I think the author did a very good job of like instilling that despicable part of what comes with being a bit of a piggish cop, like a bully, a brute, a somebody who is going to abuse his power basically over others, despite even trying to have that moral compass at the end. He's still kind of just like not somebody who you feel is redeemed at the end. It's still like up in the air. So I would actually like to see this as a full novel, just because of the potential of the plot that could follow from that. Like I can imagine it turning into a horror story of him taking out the investigation squad after that. Like I I think I'm just like invested in what comes after. I really am. So that's always a good sign. That's always a good sign. But yeah, Orphanage of Last Breath, good one. It's a good one. Anyways, bye, Shell.
And bye to all the other wonderful weirdos witching.